Most blockchains are great at holding value, but terrible at knowing what is happening outside their own network. They cannot check a stock price, read another blockchain, or verify real-world data on their own. FLR was built to solve exactly that problem. Let us break down what FLR is, how it works, and why it matters. FLR is a Layer 1 blockchain designed to bring real-world data and cross-chain information onto the blockchain in a decentralized way. Instead of relying on a single company or centralized source to feed data into smart contracts, FLR uses its own network of independent participants to gather, verify, and deliver that data. This matters because smart contracts, the self-executing code that powers most of DeFi, cannot naturally see outside their own blockchain. They need something called an oracle, a bridge that feeds outside information like prices or events into the blockchain. FLR was built specifically to be that bridge, but in a decentralized way instead of trusting one company to provide accurate data. FLR is also built to be compatible with Ethereum's coding standards, which means developers who already build on Ethereum can bring their applications over to FLR with minimal changes. One of FLR's core features is something called the FLR Time Series Oracle, or FTSO. This is a decentralized system where independent data providers submit price information for various assets, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, directly onto the blockchain. Instead of trusting one source, dozens of independent providers submit their own price data, and the network combines all of them to produce a single, accurate price feed. Providers who submit accurate data close to the final consensus price earn rewards, while those who submit bad data earn less. This creates an incentive for everyone involved to be as accurate as possible, and it removes the need to trust any single provider. This kind of price data is critical for DeFi applications, lending platforms, and trading protocols that need reliable, real-time information to function properly. FLR has a close relationship with the XRP ledger. XRP is one of the largest cryptocurrencies by market value, but the XRP ledger was never designed to support complex smart contracts the way Ethereum was. FLR was created in part to give XRP holders access to smart contract functionality that the XRP ledger itself does not natively support. Through a system called FAssets, users can bring assets like XRP onto the FLR network in a wrapped form, meaning a token that represents the original asset but can be used within FLR's smart contract ecosystem. This lets XRP holders participate in things like lending, borrowing, and other DeFi activities that were previously out of reach on the XRP ledger alone. Interoperability is one of the biggest problems in crypto. Different blockchains generally cannot talk to each other directly, which creates isolated ecosystems. FLR's entire design is built around solving this. Beyond FTSO and FAssets, FLR also uses a system called the State Connector, which allows the network to verify events and data that happened on other blockchains in a trustless way. This means FLR can confirm that a transaction happened on another chain, or that certain conditions were met elsewhere, without relying on a centralized bridge or a single trusted party. Cross-chain bridges have historically been one of the most exploited weak points in crypto, so a decentralized approach to verifying cross-chain data is a significant focus for the FLR network. FLR's native token is called FLR. It is used to pay for transactions on the network, similar to how Ethereum uses ETH for gas fees. FLR is also used within the FTSO system, since data providers and users who delegate their tokens to providers can earn rewards based on the accuracy of the price feed submitted. Token holders can also participate in governance, giving them a voice in decisions about how the network evolves. The core value proposition of FLR comes down to trust and access. Instead of relying on centralized companies to provide price data or bridge information between blockchains, FLR distributes that responsibility across many independent participants, with financial incentives that reward accuracy and honesty. It also expands what is possible for assets like XRP, which have massive market value but limited native functionality. By connecting these assets to a smart contract environment, FLR opens the door to lending, borrowing, and other DeFi use cases that were not previously available to those communities. As with any blockchain project, FLR carries real risks. The FTSO and State Connector systems are still relatively complex pieces of infrastructure, and complexity always introduces potential points of failure. Adoption is also a factor. FLR's usefulness depends heavily on developers actually building on it and users actually bridging assets like XRP into the ecosystem. And like any crypto asset, FLR is subject to significant price volatility tied to broader market conditions. FLR is trying to solve a problem that sits underneath most of crypto, the fact that blockchains are isolated from each other and from the outside world. By building decentralized infrastructure for price data and cross-chain verification, FLR positions itself as connective tissue for the rest of the industry, rather than competing directly for the same use cases as other Layer 1 blockchains. This is not financial advice, just financial education. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next breakdown. See you in the next video.